This stream will be played in its entirety to lab rats to test comprehension. Hello, hello. Hello. I hope I'm not too loud. I hope nothing is too quiet. It is currently a rainy day. I think it's still a rainy night in October. Halloween is 2 days away from now. And right now, I think we're going to be reading some more comments soon. So hello, hello. Welcome to a new stream. I hope y'all are well. I was going to originally do this on Friday, but a lot of things happened. The FNAF movie came out. I really wanted to eat something, and there wasn't anything in the house to eat, and doing a stream on an empty stomach didn't really sound like a good idea. And a couple other things too. Like I really invested in a project I've been getting back into, and something else too. There was a lot of reasons, but on Friday I basically decided, hey, I'm gonna delay this to Sunday. As much as I do try to do these streams on Friday, because I think that's like the day most people are going to be available. But hello. Alright, yeah, the other reason was because I had technical difficulties with my Vtuber. I'm going to get to that in a moment. But yes, hello. As usual, don't tell Molly, but she's working with Toby Fox to Shadow Drop Chapter 0 on Halloween. God, I wish. If I can make Pydrea a real part of Deltarune, that would be fucking dope. But yeah, I got the feeling a lot of people were busy on Friday, like this specific Friday. Molly, did you see my post about my new video? Yes, and I'm excited to watch it. I'm really interested. Shadow of Rhetoric is going to be doing, I think, an analysis on knives in Deltarune on Halloween. That video's going up, so that's going to be fun. I'll try to take a look at that if I can. But, welcome. As usual, this is the third stream of this sort. We're taking our time. Quite a few things have happened since the last comment response stream. I did a Voices of the Void stream in between this and the previous comment response stream, but there's some stuff I mentioned there I'm going to mention here for anyone who wasn't there for the Voices of the Void stream. So, the first thing I want to go over... Anyway, I'm very tired, I need sleep. Have a good rest, Shadow of Rhetoric. The first thing I want to go over, though, before I talk about anything else that happened in the past couple of weeks, is I have to announce something. I'm moving different. This shit ain't nothing to me, man. I'm moving different. Why are my eyes doing that? Hang on. Hang on. my eyes are like perpetually looking to that side. Why are they doing that? Okay. Why are they doing that? What? Is it because I'm... Huh. Anyway, I'm gonna try to fix this in a bit, but... long story short, you might notice my VTuber is moving a little bit differently. If you were there for the Voices of the Void stream, I mentioned I had technical difficulties with my VTuber. I still kind of do. I have to get a bit more into it, but gaze sensitivity. What is going on with my eyes? Why is it doing that? Okay, I think it's more or less normal. I mean, why is it? Okay. How about I just explain this real quick before I do anything with this? Basically, why do you shat the bed? The program that I used to use when I was doing my VTuber stuff, it kind of just stopped working. Because, as you might have seen in my previous streams, my VTuber usually kind of tends to have a thing where, you know, my head and body rotate as I move, which, you know, I thought that was pretty neat. But, in my Voices of the Void stream, I wasn't going to use the VTuber anyway because, the game needed to be in full screen to be in 4:3, and so I needed to use my phone to read chat. But when I opened it, for some reason, it would only move my head. and my body was not rotating. It looked really awkward. The moving eyes makes it look like you're hiding something. the bodies. But yeah, for some reason, the fucking old VTuber system, like YW, was just not working. It would only move my head, and my body was just completely still. It looked really awkward, and I could not fix it. I could not find a fix anywhere. I could not find a fix on Reddit. So I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna use something else. So what I'm using now is I'm using VTube Studio on my phone to get, you know, my movements, and now I'm using VC-Face on my computer. And so far it's looking pretty good. So far I like how it looks. Of course, you know, my body still doesn't rotate, but it is a lot more varied in expressions and stuff, so I was probably going to make this change like sooner or later anyway. Oh shit, Fanta Sleepy with the $5, thank you. That really means a lot, holy shit. Yeah, I forget to mention, but super chats are enabled, so if anyone does want to donate anything, you're absolutely not obligated to, but if you want to, feel free. Hello, Smurgle. Reddit, isn't that like the dark web? Who told you that? Yeah, I think I'm going to keep it at this because for some reason my eyes are perpetually doing a side eye. I'm not really sure what's up with that. Or is it because of... Hang on, maybe if I'm trying to get the eyes to look good. It's like really... Why are my eyes doing that? Bear with me a little bit. Enable fake gaze. Oh. Let me see. Follow head movement, look at camera. Okay. Alright. Yeah, so I'm still getting a decent hang of it because like this is VC-Face is pretty new to me, so I'm trying to get a good vibe for it. But yeah, hello. This is gonna be the VTuber thing from now on. It's definitely a little bit different, but I do like it a little better. Plus, it lets me do different expressions now, like this, or like this. Yeah, it lets me do that now. So, Molly, after not surviving, call that mans. Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole situation with the VTuber. You should ask your good friend Mana Lazuli. Yeah, Mana actually uses VC-Face. I might hit him up later if I decide to do this more. But Molly, can I ask you a quick question about Deltrarune for a sec? Will take a look at all. Feel free to ask me. I'll try to reach out in the meantime to catch your message. But yeah, that's the situation with the VTuber. Is I'm gonna have to basically use this from now on because I don't know what happened. YDO just stopped working. It just stopped working as it usually would. So that's gonna be the situation with that, and I think that explains it more or less. I'm gonna have to put this in the corner though. So if I'll do that real quick. Right? Molly, hello, thank you for the excellent content. Thank you, you're welcome. I'm glad people are still enjoying the videos well after they're after they've been published. I hope to get more videos done soon. There has been a lot that I've been working on since part 2 released. And I do have to talk about a couple things that happened since the last stream, actually, so that'll be fun. But, alright. Excellence takes time, I wait patiently. I hope you get less videos done soon, says Moist. Out of all the characters that break the fourth wall in chapters 1 and 2, is that tutorial Jigsaw the only one that isn't a major character? Because I'm working on a theory and he really breaks it. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, there's like a bit that I put in part 2, kind of like, I think it's the dojo, if it's what I think you're talking about. Which definitely is like kind of fucking weird. But I think aside from the Jigsaw, I mean, there's like, I think Darkers in general just seem kind of weirdly aware of the nature of the Dark Worlds, from what I could tell, so like, I mean, Jigsaw does seem to be like weirdly, like, unusually aware. Potentially, I'm not sure, but there is a weird moment there I haven't really been able to make heads or tails of. They seem to know how battles work. Most Darkners seem to know how. They seem like really self-aware of the way the battle system works. As I like mentioned in part 2, that's just kind of like a thing they do. Yeah, like Vtuber, most of them, yeah. I think is the only one that specifically mentions the IRL keyboard. Right. They had like the mentioned player controls, which is also fucking weird. Wait, I feel like this isn't really loud enough. Is this good? I raised the mic volume a little bit because it's like I'm looking at the audio meter. I try to make sure the audio, the audio from my microphone goes like a little bit into the yellow so that it's like just loud enough. Yeah. All right, so there we go. Man, Halloween is in a couple days. I ordered a couple things for a potential costume. There's a good chance they'll only get here after Halloween shortly, but I am excited. Long story short, I decided to do a last-minute Rouse cosplay, because fuck it. I ordered like a green cloak and like a pair of red horns. The green cloak is without the heart, obviously, but like I'll make do. I'll make some, that it's good enough for me. Something about describing Spampton as sus is so ridiculous to me. Could also be less of a fourth wall break and more that for some reason it exists in a real way for them. Yeah, potentially. Yeah, like that's kind of how I see it. It's less like a fourth wall break and just like it's just something that's weirdly tangible about that reality to them. It's really the music's a bit loud here. Okay. You see a giant keyboard in the sky. You know those streamers who like they have like that like overlay of like their fucking controller or whatever, or their keyboard, so that you know exactly what buttons they're pressing. They see that in the sky. They just see that. And, for good measure, if it's someone like Shay, they probably see like a big timer counting up in the sky too. They're like, "What the fuck is that? Like, we don't know what that means." Who knows? We can't look straight up true. For all I know, I'm right. But yeah, to keep myself on track. Alright. So to keep on track though, I'm gonna try to open up Firefox now, because there's a couple things I want to address real quick before we get into anything else. One thing that happened between streams, the comment response streams, is I have hit 10,000 subscribers. I mentioned this in the Voices of the Void stream for people who were there, so I already said thank you there, but I do want to say genuinely, just like blanket statement, just like thank you. When I started this year, I had like 100-something subs when I started this year, before uploading part 1, and my honest goal was just like, hey, if I can hit even 1K at some point this year, that would be neat. So to see how part 1 basically shot me up, like, what is that QR code? Yeah, if you want to scan it, feel free to, but that just kind of came with the whole thing, but, yeah, like, so just to see that, like, I hit, like, 4,000 or 5,000 after part 1, and now at the end of October, we hit fucking, not the end, but, like, the middle of October, we hit 10,000 is, like, it's unfathomable. It's insane. It's just, like, it's the kind of thing, like, I've been wanting to kind of hit that point for a while, but it's just, like, the fact that I hit it so soon really means a lot. So just, like, again, like, I cannot imagine, like, just how much that is already. Oh my god, Piston Fist with the $9.99. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so, like, really just genuinely thank you so much. I cannot say it enough. Like, I cannot say enough how grateful I am to, like, already have this many subscribers and to have this kind of following, and I hope to have more to show you guys. I know part 3 is going to be in a bit for now, but I do want to have something. I want to do something special for 10K specifically soon. But like I also just want to make more stuff in general. Part 3 is definitely a priority for me, but I'm still thinking on like what to do for 10,000 subscribers. That's still something I'm thinking on. Listening to the stream while working on models for an animation. Hell yeah! Congratulations, Deltrarune. But yeah, just thank you. It's like, I'm still sitting with this, so just like, holy shit. Yo, would you ever do an analysis on the oldest view? I've been thinking about it. I I'm not sure currently, but I've been thinking about it, especially because it's like, you know, not as much as the Backroom series. I could probably knock it out, and I mean, I think most of the work for the eldest view will be less like the videos themselves and more research on like the context behind it, because it's a pretty, I mean, from what I've heard, what Kane said when he was watching it with Wendigon, it's a really like obscure thing. It's not super well documented, that Maul and the Giant and everything. So I think it's something that would be fun to dig into. I might do it at some point, I'm not sure. But right now I do have a smaller Deltarune related thing I want to cover. I'm thinking I might start work on it. Like, I mean, this is like a Halloween special, and I know Halloween's like gonna be well past me by the time I actually upload it and finish it. But fuck it, man, November's another October to me. Fuck it. But yeah, that's one thing. But I do want to do something like specific for 10K. That I was gonna do this regardless, like the smaller video idea, but I want to do something for 10,000. YouTube has got to improve streams in some way. It's so annoying that you can't even reply to other people in chat. Yeah, I use YouTube specifically because I think it's like the easiest way to just reach people directly who have subscribed to my channel. Like, I feel like generally when I try to stream, if I were to stream on another site, like the crossover would be a lot less. And I think especially for something like comment responses, it's just not really ideal. But I do think there's plenty that YouTube could improve with the streaming for sure. I mean, for one thing, I fucking hate the top chat, live chat thing. Like, I just want to see the chat as it's going. You don't need to, like, filter the chat messages for me. I want to see what people are saying. The oldest view was so fucking scary. It's great. It's amazing. It's like, I had a feeling Kane is just a really good fucking creator in general, but, man, I really, the oldest view really has just kind of, like, it's a testament to just how fucking talented the guy is. It's insane. But yeah, just yeah, like I do want to do like something for 10,000. I haven't fully decided yet because I've been busy with so much other shit. But I do want to do something soon for the channel. I want to get more stuff out for y'all because, like, I mean, to wrap back around, just again, thank you. I mean, we're at like what, 10.2 thousand? Yeah, 10.2 thousand. We gained like 200 in those 10 days already. It's just kind of like insane to me still to think that like that the channel's like grown this much, and I can't even imagine what it might be like later. I mean, hey, we still got a few months in the year too, so who knows what'll happen, right? But I mean, like as we're kind of nearing the end of the year, it's just like the fact that I hit that and like surpass like my initial goals, I think in terms of this, is just like I can't be grateful enough for it. So just thank y'all. There's gonna be more soon. I'm going to work on some stuff soon, I think, for I've already been putting a couple things together behind the scenes, so I'm gonna have more to show, hopefully, for everything I've been working on. Part 3 is gonna be a bit, but I do want to upload a couple things, like, you know, for the occasion and for fun, because I will say truthfully, Desai Nixterly, hello. I will say truthfully, I am excited to work on part 3, but I think I also definitely want to work on like a smaller thing or two, just so that like I have a refresher with video editing. Next year I will make sure to shade your hat correctly. The hat was Repulsum's work, they did really well on it. I mean, the shading's different between this and the model, but it's like, you know, I do like the hat still a lot. I like, honestly, I like the hat as is. It's dope, I like it. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to probably do like a smaller video, maybe two. At least like one smaller Deltarune thing. I might cover the oldest view, I don't know. Do not hold me up to that. But I'm thinking if I do a couple things to refresh myself with video editing before doing part 3, that might help me kind of really get in the zone for it. The horns look weird. I think they're fine. I think it's just that the hat's really big. They look weird because they're not like directly attached to my head. But hi, hello, Willow. The Clash is definitely a vibe in itself, yeah. I think I like the kind of like what's the some of the stuff that Repulsum show me that like that they've made for me so far, it's like it gives me the vibe of those like what's the fucking name of that? You know that like video that's like that jungle mix, and it's just like a bunch of like kind of like old like 3D renders like from like the 90s or some shit. It gives me that kind of vibe. I like it a lot. Clash? Clash of Clans. Oh my god. But yeah, I think that's what I wanted to say there is, there's gonna be more soon. I'm still gonna be doing comment response streams as well if I can't finish them in this one or like what have you. As long as I'm not working on part 3 yet, I'm gonna be still doing streams. Yeah, aside from that, I did also want to push something else real quick. For fun. Not this, though. In the past couple of weeks, I worked on this, my Neocities. In the past couple months, I basically did a whole overhaul on the page. It was initially just the About Me, Contact and Support and Commissions. I updated the Commissions page and some stuff in the Contact page. I've updated the layout. Holy shit, Piz Week with the $20, thank you. I want to ask a question. What is your theory about Gaster and Deltarune? Some say they aren't in control, yet their prevalence is too big to ignore. Well, the device theory is going to cover that one, for sure. About like what role I think Gaster plays in it, but more or less, I do think they are very important to the story, for sure. Like I don't think that they're like some kind of like tangential like character. I think they definitely play a pretty important role in things, and I think they're responsible. I think Gaster's responsible for creating the executable that connects you to Deltarune. I don't think he's responsible for making the world of Deltarune, but like the thing that connects you to it. Holy shit, Fantas with the 32! Oh my god, guys. Oh my god, thank you. Congrats on the 10k, Molly. For your reward, I'll give you more of my own hard work money. +5. Oh my god. So yeah, I don't know how to end this donation. Thank you, Molly. Also, listen to J Dilla's Donuts. Man, thank you, thank you. That really means a lot. Oh my god. Y'all are too kind. Genuinely. But yeah, yeah, I feel like Gaster is like the kind of character who's just like, I think he made the thing that connects you to Deltarune. He didn't make the world of it, but I think he made that connection, and he needs the player for a reason. I think the player plays a big part in like what his motivations are, but his motivations are the thing that's most elusive. Like, if we don't know his motivations, that's why it's so hard to really get a good idea of his character. So a lot of the theory I have is just basically, hey, here's what I think his motives actually are and what it all means. So so at least that's kind of how I feel about Gaster currently. Is he's not like fully in control of everything in the game, but he does have like, I think he's pretty powerful. I think he knows what he's doing. And he does need us for something, so I think he's going to be very important to the thematic elements of the game, personally. But yeah, as for the Neocities, I won't be rambling too much about this, but I added just like a bunch of pages to it. I added a backlog page that's like all the shit that I haven't gotten around to playing yet, and you know, the stuff I'm currently chipping away at. If you're curious to see what I want to get to eventually, I added a bunch of new pages for all the stuff I'm currently working on, or stuff that I have done, like beta, or you know, like the Lustful Trash albums and such. Just basically like an archive of all the stuff I've done over the years. Because I know, especially if you look at my side channel, there's like a whole bunch of shit that people aren't gonna be able to make sense of. So I figured, hey, I'll make some pages to kind of give a better idea of everything that I've worked on over time. I wish more people had funky websites. I know, I really enjoy working on the Neocities. Also, you know, being able to learn HTML has been really fun. But, yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say with that one. I did a whole overhaul to this, so this kind of definitely took a few days for me. Other than that, I have been working a lot on... Oh, so yeah, this is where we left off roughly. Or, no, was it here, or... Yeah, it was roughly around here. This. So... Hold on, did you edit this to... Okay, yeah. I think we left off at Spent and Slapper's comment, if I recall. It was either this one or this one. Or is it... Or no, it might be this, actually. It's like somewhere... It was one of these two comments. Okay, so yeah, we left off somewhere around here with the comments. Oh my god, again Pizweek with the $10. Holy shit. Gaster connecting the player to the exe file is a theory not discussed by many Deltatubers. Thank you so much for device theory. It has changed my perspective on Deltrarune, and I hope more see it. Thank you, thank you. That really means a lot. Yeah, I feel like it's the kind of thing I never see people really, like, dig into, is just, like, separating the executable from the world. I mean, it's like, it might just be my fucked up, crazy gremlin brain that, like, thought of this, but it's just, like, I feel like it's the kind of perspective that I think the game is going for. And, you know, I really do I'm glad that people like have like been enjoying seeing it in that lens, honestly, especially like if it's thanks to my videos, because it's like it's the kind of thing that I feel like I would be insane trying to explain it to people, but the fact that people have been able to kind of like get a good idea of what I mean with what I'm talking about does mean a lot, honestly. I mean, part of my goal with this series was like to open the floodgates for this discussion and just be like, hey, here's something that I think needs to be like discussed more, and the fact that people are talking about it and that it has like impacted like I guess the theory crafting space in a way has been it means a lot, genuinely. I couldn't have imagined that it would like leave this much of an impact on people just in the first few parts. Man, only in Deltarune do you get to worry about stuff as subtle as Gaster. Big Gaster. It's like it's a special kind of thing. You know, like I feel Gaster is like that kind of thing that's like, it's one of the things that makes Deltarune feel so like special to me, because it's just like I've never really seen something. I've never really seen like a character like Gaster in most games. Like, you know, like he has inspirations from like stuff like Humaniki and all, but it's just like the way he was made to be so elusive in nature is, I love that kind of shit. Fanta Sleepy with $4. Thank you. Oh my god. Genuinely thank you all so much for the super chats lately. Holy shit. That really means so much. God. Again, y'all are not obligated to donate anything, honestly. You know, because like, you know, I have Patreon and everything else, but like if y'all just like want to, I'm like, I really appreciate it. I want to go broke to go woke. I'm so nervous for you to get to my comments. It's all a big bunch of baloney, in my opinion. I'm not really judgmental about comments, honestly. Even if it's something like super out there, personally, I really like it. I like reading some of the really out there shit. I remember someone in my Discord server mentioned something that was basically like, someone on my Discord server in the Deltrarune channel, they said like, hey, I have this theory about how like I know how the rest of the game is gonna go, and I know this because I had a dream about it. And Toby Fox had a dream about the ending of Deltarune, so I have to be true. I strongly believe this, and I'm just like, holy shit, dude. like I don't even I can't even get mad at that kind of thing. It's just like people being so confident in that, it's so fucking funny. Like I have to respect it. It's fucking dope. I love the out there shit people come up with this game. It's just like I have to respect it. The same deity that gave Toby Fox the dream also gave this person the same dream. I wonder if that's the same deity that made me dream about Pydrea. Probably not, but... If you ask me, I legitimately believe that at the end of Chapter 5 we'll get a tease for Gaster. I don't know if a tease for Gaster, but something with the Knight's gonna happen, and we're gonna be left on like a cliffhanger for sure. Like I have been like so patient about 3 through 5, because the thing is, you think the wait right now is bad. Imagine the wait for 6 and 7. I just know that the cliffhanger is gonna be like painful. It's gonna be the most like gut-wrenching thing ever. Imagine waiting like 2-3 years for that. Man. I mean, hey, I have a lot of things that I'm waiting for, but that's gonna be a test. Especially because, like, by that point, I think we'll know so much about the game with chapters 3 through 5 is just, like... I think the thing with that is just, like... I'm trying not to lose my train of thought right now, but, like, then the waits for 8 for 10 are gonna be hell yeah. Chapter 50 coming in 3055. Would it even be possible to get all the eggs? I mean, I feel like if you're going the normal routes, yeah, probably. If you do weird routes, then not really, no. What about Chapter 0? Right, yeah. I don't know if Chapter 0 is going to be a thing, but I wouldn't even be surprised. Oh my god, another $10 from Pizweek. Holy shit. Thank you. Thank you so much. I have a theory that Gaster is going to be the judge of us like Sans in Undertale, but at the end of the game and what we do decides what post-game we get after Chapter 7. I do wonder maybe if like the ending is the same but the post-game is different, depending on what route you do. Is that like a thing that could happen? That would be really interesting. Why do I keep looking to the side? Hang on. Oh. That was not what I wanted to open. Did not want to open that. Okay. My eyes keep... Oh, now they're not looking to the side, okay. Alright, so... I'm gonna be getting to comments pretty soon. You know, it's been like half an hour already. But, I also have to get used to my new keybind for muting my microphone because it used to be Alt, but after the Voices of the Void stream, I kept accidentally muting myself like a billion times. So now it's the tilde key, because like fuck, I don't want to like accidentally mute myself like 1,000 times. Like who uses their tilde key unless you're like playing a Source game or something? Molly looking to the side because she ain't ever strayed. True. True. I'm 100% sure Papyrus is going to be important, because, like, why would Toby do a Papyrus Q&A for no reason? True. Like, I feel like Papyrus is going to play a role in the game eventually. I feel like it's... The way, like, that Papyrus has been teased, like, kind of in Deltrarune so far is just, like... There's something to it. The thing is, it's just also so early in the game that I cannot tell, like, what role Papyrus and Sans are going to play in Deltarune. I don't think it'll be, like, a huge one. I think they'll be, like, you know, personally attached to, like, Deltarune in some way, but they're gonna come into play at some point. Maybe in Chapter 4 or 5, if I had to guess. But, that's at least what I'm currently thinking. Molly currently skewing malevolent plants.mp4. That's a forbidden file. That's a scary file. That's the file that makes you go, boo! Alright. I should probably get around to the comments now, so... You know, seems chat's kind of been chill lately, but, I'm gonna see how many of these I can get through. We're already... Right now it says 2 months ago. I think we're gonna get back to, like, a month ago in terms of these. I think we're actually pretty close to the comment that I left on the 25th of August. Actually. So... I'm gonna see how many of these I get through. I think I'm not rushing these too much right now, though. I am, you know, trying to make sure I can get through as many as I can reasonably, because there are still quite a lot. We're still in like the first couple days of this video's release. It's insane. Molly is secretly Toby Fox, you know. God, I wish. I mean, I feel like lately I've kind of come into my own with some of the stuff I've been working on. I wish I could say more about it, but one of the main things I've been busy with is some like personal project stuff that I'm really... that I can't say too much about, but I've been super invested in. And again, Toby's dream was apparently when the shadows and the light meet and create fantasy. The song Don't Forget reflects that. That is true. I mean, I feel like the dream probably had to like have something to do with that. Yeah, again with the $5, by the way, like it's just like, holy shit. Thank you, Pizweek, so much. Like that you are not obligated to donate this much, but thank you. It really means a lot. God. Pizweek is Mr. Beast. Anyone who donates any amount of money is automatically Mr. Beast. We are all Mr. Beast if you think about it. The mystery beast, one could say. He was either this or another streamer. Mr. Beat. Bro forgot his clothes at work, and now bro thinks he's Mr. Beast, but I gotta hand it to him. He doesn't appear to be missing a single beat. Mixter stars. Fitness! With the $5 again, what would you do if I give you more money? I would say thank you. And I would, if I could, I would, what would I do? I would make you a cup of tea and send it to you through fax. If I could do that. Alright. Jesus Christ, you people. This is repulsive. Genuinely, thank you so much. It means a fucking ton. God. The battle of the super chats. It's gonna be the thing that happened with Andrew's stream where it's like people are gonna be like donating to have like certain things put on the screen and like competing to have stuff removed from the fucking screen and everything. It's gonna be a fucking war out here. Sooner or later someone's gonna ask me to put ananas on the fucking stream. Wait, are you Ralsei? This is my costume for this year, yeah. Malsei. Alright. I'm gonna probably start with the comments though. I feel like, I know I've read Spamped and Slapper's comment because that was like one of the longer ones. The super chat is for chat to have food. Thank you, Pizweek, again for the $2. Oh, Windows. Every time you stream something, it's just bad timing. I tend to catch his streams pretty often, but I've been lately streaming on Sunday, so I haven't been able to like catch his streams too much. But his streams are really chill. I like them. Have you played Atomic Heart? I have not. Who are you, and why did YouTube send me to you? I don't know. YouTube just does that. Ask them, not me. The Windows theory. That's certainly a way to describe this one. To the device theory. It's the Windows theory. All right. I'll have chat to the side for now, and have you played Half-Life? I love Half-Life. I've played most Source games. I'm a pretty big fan of them. Oh yeah, Interloper is one thing I could cover at some point, maybe. If you don't know about that, that's a Source Engine web series thing that's really fucking dope. I don't want to say too much about it, but it's really good. But yeah, back on topic though. Alright, so, have you played all Half-Life games? What do you think of Cranberry in Half-Life 2? Cranberry? I don't know. I don't recall a Cranberry in Half-Life, but I have played most of the Half-Life games. Also, holy shit, Fantas! Oh my god! With the 39, holy fucking shit. Want an appearance in the device theory? Why? I don't know, I want to be in Mollyverse. All seriousness though, thank you so much. I owe you a lot, so this is how I can repay it. Thank you. You're genuinely not obligated to donate so much, but I really appreciate it. I'm simply doing what I can. Thank you. Is Molly a TF2 player? They don't know. Is Molly a TF2 player? They, do they know? Do they know? But again, Pizweek with the $5, by the way, holy shit. Okay, have you seen The Amazing Digital Circus? I think it takes inspiration from Deltarune, as Gooseworks has done a lot of Deltarune music in the past. I have seen The Amazing Digital Circus. I really enjoy the pilot so far. I'm just curious to see where it'll go, really. I want to see more of I do want to see more of the series as it goes, honestly. That's currently how I feel about it, but the pilot's really good. Jack's my beloved. But to go back to what Fantas said, I want to be in Mollyverse. Yeah, again, I really appreciate, like, I'm just doing what I can. Like, honestly, there's no obligation to, like, repay and everything, but I really appreciate it. And I'm just doing what I can. I think the super chats are just trying to stop Molly from reading the comments. Look, look, Andrew could agree with me here. These streams are like really elaborate versions of just hangout streams. Why does everyone I know either hate or love Jack's sexy man status? Probably Tumblr sexy man status. I think it just does that. Outer Wilds is the Molly game. She was obsessed with it. Anyone who plays it is going to be obsessed with it. Just look at Night Margin. The Winter's Pomni World Revolving. I haven't heard of that. I didn't know Gooseworks also made music for Deltarune, but honestly, I could. It does seem to check out. Honestly, they kind of both live in that sort of a surreal-ish sphere, and of like, you know, just like weird and kind of cool shit like that. These are hangout streams this whole time. I have been fooled. I thought the stream was for quantum physics or something. Can I send you Outer Wilds memes on Discord? Do you have Discord? If you search up mollystars on Discord, you'll probably find me. If it has a Radical Edward with a pumpkin profile picture, then that's probably me. That's why I won't play watch the stuff everyone tells me to. Yeah, my feeling with Digital Circus is I really like it, but I can tell it's gonna be one of those things where right now I'm just like, oh yeah, it's cool. Then when there's like 10 episodes or something, you know, when it gets to like a climactic point, I'm going to like want to live in that fucking world. I'm going to want to live in that series. I'm going to be obsessed with it forever. That happened to me with Steven Universe. That happened to me with Gravity Falls. That happened to me with a bunch of shows and games where I think, oh, this is cool, and then I just want to live in it. I want to be a part of it. That's like that's how insane the obsession gets. Oh, Fantas, thank you for the $2. Holy shit! I hope I have enough money for some food. Well, hey, if you need to save up, you know, you don't need to donate more. I really appreciate it. Man, fucking hell! Thank you all so much for the super chat. It's been insane. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. But also like you know, if you need money for anything, that's like, you know, more wise, like, you know. Like, that's, like, more essential, like, you know, feel free to keep it. You know, you don't have to give me your life savings here. Have you played Swelter? I haven't. I haven't played a lot of Half-Life 2 mods. I've played the games themselves, but I haven't played a lot of the mods. But yeah, also I wanted to go back to Fantas's other donation about the Mollyverse. I'll say this much. The Mollyverse is the kind of thing where you don't really enter it, but it kind of crosses over with you in a way, is how I would put it. It finds you, and I think at the rate we're going, I mean, who knows? It might find you. Have you seen Alex's pink panties in game? It's like 5 pixels above the pants on her model. I don't think I have. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me though. Alright, I didn't quite catch what you said aside from it finds you. This was in regards to the Mollyverse, as Fantas put it. Alright. I think we're gonna get to the comments now, so gonna get myself cozy, get ready. It finds you as a band name would go so hard, yeah, it would. Actually, yeah, that does go really hard, holy shit. Viewing the Mollyverse is kind of like raising the dead. Alright. I know I read Spamton Slapper's comment. I'm pretty sure I read this one. I get the feeling I did. Alright. And yeah, and I remember reading this one too. Like this was where we ended off with just like, hey, like the launcher thing, because it's like, you know, it's better to have like 7 separate game maker projects rather than like one really big one that's like gonna have like a bunch of performance issues, right? Right. So, we're gonna continue on with these now. After 45 minutes, we get to actual comments. That's the Molly experience. I drift off on tangents and different subjects and everything. These are like hangout streams, alongside being comment streams. Hello, hi. How's the meme? Right now we're getting to the comments, but hello. All right. Let's start with this one. Love the Amore music. Thank you. Okay, yeah, we're starting with this comment too, which is a pretty long one. This wasn't anything. Someone basically like commented saying, "Hey, why do you have like so much text that like is basically stating the thing you're already saying with different words?" And you know, I just kind of had a discussion with them saying, "Yeah, hey, I know that there's like a bunch of text that like, you know, like that is basically just like kind of rewording what I'm already saying in the voice." Because I did get some criticism in part 1 for the text being like a little bit excessive, which I do agree. Though, like, you know, I basically just said like, hey, I do it because like I know people who would appreciate like having some like way of like being able to read what I'm saying, because like, you know, like especially as someone with like audio processing issues, it's just the kind of thing where it's like I appreciate having something that like on the screen to kind of help like get an idea of what's being talked about, because sometimes like shit will just go like, you know, go in one ear out the other. I love text but haven't seen your channel in a while. Yeah, I mean in part 1 it was like a little bit excessive, for sure, but I mean in part 2 I did definitely dial it back a bit. But I was basically just like, yeah, hey, like, you don't, like, I mean the thing with my videos is like, you, like, if there's like text or anything, you don't have to read it. Like all the essential stuff, I have it like in the fucking audio itself. Like if you just want to listen to the damn thing, like feel free. The text is just like just in case, because it's like related to that. How are the captions for part 1 going? I haven't worked on them in a bit. I want to work on captions more, but there's just been a lot of other shit that's been on the priority for me. The Neocities was one thing. I have been working on a personal project. I want to get to work on a few other things, but I do want to work on them more. I'm like roughly halfway through part 1's captions from where I left off. I just have to get back to it. Once I feel a bit more freed up with everything else I'm working on, I'm gonna definitely get back to them. Oh my god, Piz Week again with the $5, holy shit. Last question, have you seen Value Network's Twilight Zone theory on Deltarune? I have, and it's a really interesting video. It's definitely out there. But I do definitely really appreciate, like, I do like the take on it, honestly. On the Twilight Zone and everything, there's a pretty good, like, parallel there, like, surprisingly. I don't know if it's, like, you know, meant to be canon or taken, like, that way specifically, but there are a surprising amount of parallels. I do definitely really like that video. I think the text can be annoying. I usually listen to or watch videos while on a walk, and I am usually frustrated when video essays contain too many visual elements. Well, it's like, again, if you're listening to videos or watching them on a walk or something, and like, you know, you mostly just want to listen to it, you can just listen to it. Like, I'm not holding you at gunpoint and saying, if you don't read all of the text in this video, I'm going to kill you and you're a fake fan or whatever. It's just like, yeah, like the text is just like entirely for like people who do need the clarification, because it's like, I know in some cases I need like that kind of like visual aid, and also like I definitely get if it's like not everyone's thing. Although I feel like it's like it's kind of like I would rather it be an optional thing that like can be a bit annoying for some people, rather than like removing the text altogether and, you know, making it so it's not annoying, but then I might be like, you know, making it a bit confusing for people who, like, you know, they kind of need like to listen more than a few times. It's time for me to eat pizza. Good night, everyone. Thank you. I really thank you for the donations. Holy shit, I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy your pizza. Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword kind of thing. Where it's like, you know, I kind of, where it's like, you know, I can definitely see if it's like, you know, a bit, I can definitely see if it's like it takes a little bit to really, like, if the text is like a bit like annoying in some ways, but like, I feel like it's the kind of thing, it's like I mean, at least for my style, I feel like kind of having the text like every now and then, like, I think I only had issue with it in part 1, well, like looking back, where it's like, yeah, like it's just a wall of text. But if it's just like a couple sentences or anything, just like kind of going over the general idea of what I'm talking about, or just like a last minute thing that like I'm just like, I can't really find space to really talk about this, and it's not super important, but it might be worth mentioning just in case, you know, just so that people know that I'm aware of it. Like, that's where I put the text in. So it's kind of like yeah, like I think in part 1 it was excessive, at least, yeah. Because, like, you know, if it's something important that I want to interrupt the video with, I can just add more audio then. But if it's just like a little side thing, I just want to kind of throw it as like an annotation, basically. Why do they remove annotations? But, like, you know, as like an annotation, more or less. They're annotations. That's what they are. They're annotations because YouTube fucking doesn't let you make them anymore. And that's basically what they are, more or less. Like, if that was still a feature, you would have been able to basically put them in the video, and if you don't want to see them, you can turn them off. And that would have probably, like, helped both sides of it. But god damn it. That's kind of like my workaround, more or less. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it, where it's like, you know, as long as it's not too excessive, I feel like it's the kind of thing, like, I'm just gonna have it in them. If it's for side stuff and it's for nothing essential, and you like the more or less the audio is like the essential thing. If you just want to listen to it, you can listen to it. I put a lot of time into the audio to make sure that it's just fun to listen to while you have something else in the background, because that's how I watch things. That's how I do things sometimes, you know, if I'm drawing or something. So that's the priority. The text and everything is kind of like a cherry on top. Also, if annotations were still a feature, you would have done a video where the audience could freely add annotations and they just spam the fuck out of it. Yeah. Which, like, I think that feels so up this channel's alley. And I can't do it. Molly, did you see the FNAF movie? Yeah, I totally did. My favorite part was when the guy went, "Now that Afton is dead, we can finally be free." And then William was like, "But I always come back." No, I haven't actually seen it for real. But I did hear, from what I've heard, FNAF movie, if you're not a fan of FNAF, you're probably not gonna like it. But if you do like FNAF and you know of it, then you'll probably like the movie a good bit. That's at least what I heard of it. Why is my eyes are doing the thing again? Alright. But yeah, that's like the gist of this comment, though. It was basically just like, yeah, hey, I get why it can be annoying, but also, like, this is just my style, it's just my thing. Like, I know I have audio processing issues, I know people who do have those issues with, like, processing just audio, so it's like, I think it's, like, the best middle ground I can really sit on, to where it's like, you know, like, it could be, like, accessible for, like, both people who just want the audio to listen to and also, like, need, like, a bit of a visual aid here and there. It's so obvious it's for diehard fans, yeah. From what I've heard, it was definitely a bit goofy, but, like, I think FNAF lore in some ways in general, like, it kind of has, like, goofy-ish aspect to it. Not completely, you know, it's a, you know, like, there's child murder in it and everything, but, like, you know, there's, like, some aspects to it where it's like, you know, I think it's the kind of movie they made it for the fans, and I think that's the kind of thing that I prefer that rather than, like, trying to appeal to, like, a huge audience that, like, knows nothing about the series. And like, that's often how, like, those, I think that's often how, like, licensed movies end up, like, getting so fucked up. Purple Guy was just in a silly, goofy mood. Alright, what the fuck is in my mic? Yeah, campy is how I would describe FNAF in a way. It's campy, in some ways. It's not really goofy, it's more campy. And from what I've heard, the movie just kind of leans into that. Which, like, you know, I completely get that. I'm all for that. Alright. I'm gonna continue on with the comments now. That was just one thing. That was just to go over that one. But, I recall a Tumblr post, or more specifically the tags of a comic, commenting on the unnerving romantic vibes going on with the events and dialogue choices in the weird route, and I do agree there's some strange shit of that effect going on between Chris and Noelle. I'm not sure that is to the device theory. I'm not sure how relevant that is to the device theory, but considering you address both the weird route itself and the characterization of those two kids in this video, I felt like it was worth mentioning. No one put spoilers, please. Yeah, don't spoil the FNAF movie if people haven't seen it yet. It's only been, like, what, 2 days? Rule of thumb, if it's been, like, any less than, like, a month, you probably shouldn't, like, go out just saying outright, like, what happens. Alright, there could be an argument that the weird and creepy interactions with Noelle mirror how certain games handle romantic options. It's a common critique of dating games that they often boil down to picking the right dialogue choices to win over the character's affection. That is interesting. To kind of compare it to, like, dating sims in a way. Yeah, I like this take a lot. There's definitely like a weird like romantic undertone to that route in a way. It's really weird and unsettling, and I think that's like kind of by design, and it's been really interesting to think about. There's sort of commenting on like the player forcing characters to do things the characters normally wouldn't do too. Yeah, Maraxi, like I feel like I feel like it's like meant to be like unsettling because it's like the player imposing their will on the other characters, and so it feels like unnatural. And it feels like really forced in a way, because it's like I think that's what the weird rut is like you're forcing the game to like produce a different outcome through a loophole, essentially. So it's like and I think the fact that it has those ties to those like romantic undertones is so interesting. I think it's ultimately meant to be like to like add into the unsettling nature of it. That like you've grown so attached to these characters to where you don't really care about their own agency. And so you just want to grow more and more like unhealthily attached to those characters in a way. It's kind of like how using negative romance as a storytelling device, it's a really interesting way to go about it. And I think it ties in really well to like what I think is like the game's main theme of like being attached to fictional worlds and fictional characters. And like how far are you willing to go to either respect or ignore like a character's like will and agency over themselves. I think that's something that I really like about it. If you think about it like toxic romance, it becomes more of a metaphor. Yeah, like it's like I see it as a kind of metaphor for like the player forcing their will on other characters, because like, you know, when you think about it, there is a toxic relationship kind of aspect to it. Like, you know, it's not with real characters, real people, but it's like it's you know, it's obviously also not telling of like the person as like a real person in real life talking to real people. It's just like, because like, you know, it's all fictional. But so it's just kind of like, it's just it's like with Undertale, it's like, you know, it's not immediately indicative of what kind of person you are in real life. It's just kind of like it's a way of questioning how fucking weird certain things in games are, which is like Toby's whole thing. It does, like, you know, it's like how it's not like how Undertale is like solely trying to promote pacifism and the genocide route makes you a bad person. It's just kind of like, hey, isn't it kind of fucked up how like you progress in RPG games by basically killing people? What if you didn't have to do that to progress? You know, like it's that kind of thing. And you know, like I even remember hearing that like originally in Undertale you actually had to kill Toriel in earlier versions of the plot. Like Toby was originally planning that like you were not able to spare Toriel no matter what. But even then Toby was also just like, man, that makes me feel bad. Like what if Toriel doesn't have to die? And then that just kind of became Undertale, like, you know, the game where nobody has to die. And it's interesting to see how that philosophy just kind of got like applied to the whole game. It's a really interesting thing, and I really like how Toby approaches this stuff with like such a specific viewpoint. Yeah. Yeah, it opens up a bigger discussion about just like how Toby approaches these kinds of themes in his games and how like he uses them to discuss like how weird certain things in games are. I like it a lot. It's a really like a particular part of the weird ride that I might mention in part 3 maybe, but in either way, it's definitely very interesting. Just like it gives me a lot to think about, like how future weird routes are going to take it potentially. I keep watching these videos about Deltarune even though I already know all of the things. I feel that. This is incredibly well done though, the glitchy stuff and stuff was great. Thank you. Alright, finally I was waiting for this great video I would recommend, haven't watched yet. P.S. If anybody wants to decode the Morse code. Morse code? What are you talking about? Wait, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I found out after watching the entire video that this is reference to the last moments of the video with the CRT. Alright. the unspoken route. In relation to the blog post with the Chris and Susie story, I've always felt like Susie's specific hostility towards Chris is a result of her being envious of their relationship with their mother. Yeah, we've gotten lots of clues that indicate Susie may have a rough home life. The specifics of that are kind of up in the air. I could imagine that, yeah. It could be kind of like... I think whatever Chris said, it might be in relation to that. Chris saying something like good or implying that they hope their mom gets sick of them. Susie's bullying usually brought up Chris's parents, yeah. I remember mentioning a bit about this, yeah, I think in the corrections comment. Molly, have you played Celeste? I haven't, but I should. I should add that to the backlog, actually. Yeah, that's a game I've been thinking of playing. Yeah, I remember discussing this in the previous streams, and I think even in the corrections bit where I'm like, yeah, it's probably like out of jealousy more than anything. Might be fun to stream. Yeah, I do enjoy a good platformer every now and then, so I do definitely like to. But yeah, I get the general sentiment behind this. I know I've like talked about this in the previous streams, so I do think there is like a bit of an envious aspect to it for sure. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's in the corrections, so like I definitely already acknowledge that. Oh my god, it's an hour longer than the first. Like, it's been like 2 months since part 2. I don't know how I got part 2 out the way I did. I needed to take like a solid break to wind down after part 2. That shit was so much work in such a short amount of time. It was insane. I remember I was in the mollystars Discord and I was jokingly playing Genocide Rat as a joke while talking to someone, and during the tutorial fight I couldn't kill her. Oh yeah, I think I remember reading that, like genuinely, like, I would have been the same though. Like, I wouldn't have had it in me, I couldn't. For Undertale specifically, just like, I just couldn't. I'm too attached to these characters, I can't do it. The backlog is where the man that gives you egg is because it's just a single log that you get by glitching out of reality, like the backrooms. True. I feel like Susie's fixation on Toriel is something more than just enemy. She treats Toriel differently than literally any other adult in the game. Well, I mean, I think it would have to do with the fact that she is like Chris's mother, and at least from what I know is like I mean because Susie probably sees like Chris holding Toriel, like making Chris like basically hold her fucking hand as like walking to school and everything, and like I can imagine that, like, you know, Susie is probably like, you know, not had the best home life. She probably sees that and she's just like, man, how come Chris gets that and I never did? I mean, that would fuck you up if you like had a rough home life for sure. That would make you like envious in some way, and it would make you kind of like, I think it would make even being around like a motherly figure, like, you know, kind of surreal, because it's just like, especially if you never really grew up with that kind of thing in your life, it's just like, you know, I can definitely see how it would like make Susie like that, honestly. You know, I think it's just like a consequence of like that kind of trauma, like growing up, essentially. At least that's kind of how I feel about it now. Okay, yeah, we're literally talking about this. You know, Susie's hatred for Chris. Maya seems to be guessing Chris having a good mother. Yeah. For how I see it, someone with such a home life would be envious of someone. Yeah. Yeah, so we just mentioned this. Yeah, so like again, I feel the same sentiment now with it. It's like the same kind of thing where it's like the bullying is so focused on like the parent. And I think it's, I think with Susie like being so stiff with like being invited to Toriel's house is just kind of like a, if you never really got that respect from your own parents and, you know, from like a motherly figure in general, getting that is like a weird fucking feeling. I imagine it's just kind of like you don't really know how to process it, so you're just like, oh, okay, I'll be normal. I'll be totally normal. I promise. You know, just like, you know, you're trying to like process the whole thing. So like at least that's kind of how I like imagine it, more or less. Motherless behavior. Mean to Susie. But yeah, like I get the same sentiment here, where it's like, you know, I think there is an element of like envy for sure. It might not be the only thing, but it is part of it, in my opinion. I think. Yeah, there's still quite a bit. We're getting to next year's comments soon. Excellent video as always, but something's sticking in my mind. The birdcage. It doesn't make sense. Why does Chris have it? Have they been previously shoving souls in there? Andrew Cunningham made a pretty narratively convincing argument for there being no third entity, but the possible discrepancy with the birdcage causes me to wonder if there's something at play that makes sense before when Gaster made his connection with us and Chris. Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, with part 3, I think one of the biggest hurdles is gonna be the birdcage. I don't know what to make of it. I think it's gonna be one of those things that just, you cannot make sense of it right now, but I think when the game is done and when the full narrative is there, you're gonna look at it and be like, holy shit, the clues were there the whole time, or whatever. But right now, I just don't know what it means. I don't know why it's there. I don't know what it implies, or why it would imply what it does. Because it would imply that, like... I mean, unless if the birdcage was used for something else that, like, was entirely unrelated to the soul shenanigans. It being there, and having seen some use, as the game puts it, is like, yeah, it's just like, it would imply that they've been taking their soul out with, like, even if the player wasn't influencing Chris. Unless you want to believe that there was an entity that was taking control of Chris before us. But I feel like that's, like, you know, kind of contrived. And it makes me wonder why we haven't heard anything about this entity, like, ever in the first couple of chapters, like, not even a hint about it. I did see someone in chat mention that it could be, like, a self-harm thing, which would be really fucked up, for sure. But, it would be an explanation, at least. It would be, like, something, because it's just, like... Yeah, it seems as if they've been doing this. And Toriel mentions in general, like, it's not the birdcage, but, like, with the bathroom and leaving the sink on and taking their time in there. Like, even Toriel is just like, yeah, Chris just does this sometimes. And it's just like, what? What do you mean, Toriel? Like, I feel like there's just something to it. I wonder if I get a darkened or dark-old object version of the cage. I hadn't even thought of that. Holy shit, yeah. I hadn't even thought about the implications of, like, that object being turned into a darkener. Or that turning into, like, an area of its own. Oh, that would be fucking weird. I feel like that would be like a really weird place, probably. Maybe not, but I feel like that would have to have some implications for sure of its own. Will there be a Darkwood version of each thing in Asriel's... Fuck. I hadn't even thought of that. Imagine in chapter 3, depending on what fucking save slot you're in, like, the thing changes because of what thing is in the drawer. Oh my god. No, I hadn't even thought about that. That is reaching, but, like, holy shit. That would be insane. If that's the case. I would actually... I think I would go rabid. I would go crazy. I would go stupid. I think if that happens, and Toby commits to that, then I think that, like, confirms that, like, the 3 save slots matter. I think it confirms that what slot you're using has to matter. Personally, that would like confirm the trend, in my opinion, for sure. That would be fucking insane. Will there be a Darkwood version of the fridge? Probably, yeah. I don't see why not. Oh, Fantas donating yet again with $1. Thank you. That really means so much. Thank you. Man. What did I write here? Yeah, like I said here, like, I just don't have an explanation for the birdcage. I just don't know what it means. I do think whatever it is, though, it'll play a big part in the narrative and the meta side of things. If we could figure out what that means, it would definitely, like, probably imply and connect a lot more stuff together that we haven't connected yet. Or, like, aren't able to connect currently. What if there's something under the TV, like a game console, and that becomes part of the Dark World? Yeah, potentially. Maybe Dragon Blazer stuff will be involved, who knows? Or Cat Patter stuff, even. Alright. Can you imagine those different things in the drawer each turn into their respective secret bosses? I don't know if secret bosses, but into, like, their own darkeners would... Like, that's what I'm saying. That would be insane. That would be goddamn insane. I don't even know how I would feel about that. Like that would just like confirm like that the slots matter, which is just like, I just want chapter 3 already. I want to see what it means. I want to see if there's like actually truth to that. Yeah. Toby did say chapter 3 won't be like super like story heavy, which I can definitely get behind. I could see why it's like not super story heavy, honestly. Although I do feel like even if the story isn't heavy in terms of like, you know, the progression of the narrative, I think there is still going to be lore. I think there's still going to be things to like glean out of it. If you're a trope freak, you know. So that's at least how I kind of feel about it. Like it's not super important to the main narrative, but I think there's still going to be stuff to get out of it for sure. Story heaviness, would it be closer to chapter 1 or 2? Probably like chapter 1, maybe. How much did I miss comment-wise? We started pretty recently. I started like around... like around here. I've gone through quite a few, but you know, we just started pretty recently, so I'm still going through it. Where were we anyway when we started? Already not bad. Already like not bad progress. Chapter 5 will be a 60-second cutscene like in Mother 3. I would go insane if that was the case. Oh man, imagine chapter 6 or 7. No, not 7. Maybe like chapter 6 is like super short or something like that. I mean, I think Mother 3 was a big inspiration for Toby for sure. So, who knows? Maybe. Alright, I'm going to read the next one now. Okay, you talk about how Sham seems to know Spampton, referring to him as that salesman, but I would like to say something. His first set of dialogue is expressing shock to you about finding another shadow crystal, but trails off with an ellipses. His second set of dialogue begins with, "Oh, is that so? That's salesman." To me, this implies that there's an unseen piece of dialogue between Chris and Sham where Chris explains how they acquired the crystal. Okay, this isn't exactly an unreasonable assumption for an RPG. Plenty of games do this sort of thing, implying or describing how your character responds in a conversation without forcing you to wait as your character describes something you already know. Heck, there's plenty of times where Chris gives messages to other characters without us hearing or needing our input. True. I could see it, yeah, it could be that that was like trying to kind of like, you know, paraphrase or kind of like streamline things a little bit more. So ultimately, to me, this exchange isn't Sham knowing Spampton, it's a longer interaction we don't see the entirety of. Oh, okay. I could get behind that, yeah, where maybe it was like just trying to shorten the interaction, because it's like, okay, you already know what happened. So it's like, oh, that salesman found the crystal. Something I want to mention, actually, yeah, something that I need to probably bring up in part 3, or just at some point, is this fucking line of dialogue here. Because people keep assuming that Spampton Shadow Crystal is like, you know, he had it for a while, but this line would imply that the crystal was found in the Neo body, which I think Weasel mentioned it, but I do find that really interesting because it implies that the Shadow Crystals aren't inherent to being a secret boss, which that is really interesting information to get out of it, honestly. It kind of like, it helps narrow down like a little bit like what they might imply, I think, like what the Shadow Crystals are, because it seems they're not inherent to being like a secret boss. Or maybe you could separate Spampton and Spampton Neo, and that Spampton is a normal one, and so Spampton isn't always a secret boss because the Neo one is the secret boss. I guess if you count them as like two separate entities in a way. If you had to put it that way. At least that's kind of what I think, but that is something that I think even I overlooked for a while, and it's like, oh right, yeah, that's weird. Like, it implies that he didn't always have that crystal. Theory, Chapter 5's Dark will be the manifestation of Chris's GTA 4 copy, and Liberty City will be the main location, and Dimitri will be the chess 3 bishop, and Nico Bellic will help you. I wish. I think Nico Bellic should be in more video games. I need to play GTA 4 again sometime, it's such a good game. It's my personal favorite Grand Theft Auto game. OMG David Lynch! Hi! Hi! Alright. If anything, I would offer up the connection that each chapter's merchant will have some degree of... Jane, you're testing me here. This is called what? Do I have the video? I don't know if I do. This is called what? And what is this? And perhaps what is the... If anything, I would offer up the connection that each chapter's merchant will have some degree of connection to the secret bosses. Shaman and Jevel were close, and while it's not as large a connection, Swimpton had previously approached Sweet Captain and KK, asking about breaking into the dimension for the Neo body. True, and Swatch does mention Swimpton a couple times. So there is something to that. I could see that maybe there's like a bit of a connection to make, but I think if Chapter 3... I think if Chapter 3 does the same, then, you know, we can probably confirm that it is meant to be like a pattern here. I would agree entirely if the game were translated from Japanese, but I feel like because it's written in English, the syntax is very unusual for implying skipped dialogue lines. Yeah, he writes and speaks Japanese well. Using... Okay. Yeah. I think there's a case that maybe it was meant to streamline stuff, but it's hard to say for sure, but I could definitely get behind the reasoning for it, that it might have been meant to like narrow stuff down. Yeah, I think that's the current thing with like Deltarune theorizing, is we're right in this weird fucking limbo, right? Where we know there are like some patterns, we know there is something, we can confirm a couple of things, but we're just missing a third chapter. If we get Chapter 3, we're going to be able to actually like confirm like so much more shit, and be able to narrow down stuff by a lot more. I think the reason theorizing is like so potent right now is because we're still like, we have stuff to work with, but not enough to confirm anything with, and it's so weird. I think when the game is like actually complete, we're gonna be looking back on this time and just thinking, man. Yeah, patterns are so difficult with two examples because it's like you notice there's a connection, but you can't tell if it's meant to be intentional or if it's just your brain if it's just your brain connecting dots where it shouldn't. Yeah, it's like we can only speculate, really. Like we need like a third, like we need more data points for this shit. So I think that's kind of where we are currently with it. It's so weird, and I think when the game is like done and we get to the next chapters and everything, it's gonna be like, it's third. I think when we get the next Be Right Back, Scott the Woz just uploaded. Holy shit! Hell yeah! Scott the Woz mentioned. But yeah, I feel like I think that's kind of where we are right now. Is I think that's like kind of like where we are right now. It's just like there's stuff to work with, but not enough to confirm with, and it's fucking weird. And I think when the game is done, we're gonna look back on this time I don't think there's gonna be a point in the community that's gonna be like this, where it's like we just have so many ways that the game could go because we have so much to work with already. Molly Scots. Hey y'all, Scott here. Hey y'all, Molly here. Is the mollystars channel a certified Scott Wozniak zone? I haven't watched too many of his videos in a while, but I do enjoy what I have watched of his videos. While you have Ralsei's hat, Halloween's in 2 days. It's my costume. The Deltarune community may be in the same point the FNAF theory community was in like 2015. That's a good comparison, actually, Bomb. Yeah, that like you know, we're kind of at a point where it's like it could go anywhere. We don't know where things are gonna go from here, so we just have so much shit to work with and like make whatever theory with. But yeah, with this, I do think there's a chance it could be like streamlined, but it might not be. It's hard to say for sure, but I definitely get the logic behind it. Another banger. Thank you, thank you. You're an amazing video essayist, and I hope this one blows up as much as the last one. It's done really well. Thank you. Not a terribly relevant comment, but thank you so much for showing me those RTVS clips. More people need to know of Wayner and crew. Thank you. I really love RTVS's stuff in general. Their work is so fucking good. That's what, like, just like with the recent subathon, like the Sonic subathon that Wayne did, and like a lot of shit Scorpio does as well. I really enjoy it. It's fucking amazing. I did enjoy putting like the out of context like RTVS clips and when without me mentioning the spammed in value network, because it's just like there's so much good out of context shit. I honestly think that Chris said yeah to Susie when she said nobody would miss them. I think it's obvious that Chris has some mental health problems and most likely has depression. Maybe. I mean, we don't really know much about like what's actually going on in their head. Like we know a little bit, but I get the feeling they're probably neurodivergent. though that could be me projecting, like with like how I was as a teen. But like, you know, Chris saying yeah also makes sense because Noel said she barely saw their mouth move. Yeah, your mouth moves really slightly that someone from a distance would probably not even see it. Chris is definitely insecure about them not being as successful as Azrael. Yeah, I think they do have some pretty complicated feelings in that regard, honestly, for sure. I think there's definitely like a bit to unpack there. They probably feel a lot of complicated shit about Azrael and just their place like in the Dreamer family, I feel. You know, because like they feel like the weird one, like the odd one out, basically. And yeah, I think there's definitely gonna be something to unpack with that personally. It feels like just a ton of baggage that like I don't know how that's not gonna be addressed personally. You notice people don't acknowledge you and that it's twisted into a feeling like everyone hates you. Exactly. I can speak from experience, so that's definitely, I could definitely get behind that. I think it'll, like, the logic checks out there. I do think Chris could have said something really brief, potentially. BRB, I'm hungry. I am gonna be right back soon as well after I finish this one. But yeah, I do think that I do think they probably said something really brief, like yeah, or like just like a couple words, something really like small that like would make it seem as if they didn't even say anything, but they did, but it was just really subtle. Moist says, Chris said, fuck you. Oh my god. But yeah, I could see that Chris said something potentially really brief. And like, I think even saying yeah is the kind of thing where it's just kind of like, it's so brief you don't even know what to make of it, and it would probably confuse the shit out of you and just be like, well, you know, like, I think that's the kind of thing that would baffle Susie potentially, because it's just like, how do you even respond to that genuinely? Like, how would you? And I think honestly something that brief would probably like actually, I could see how that would make Susie just like change her whole demeanor, because it's like, again, how do you respond to someone just saying that? You know, like it's that kind of thing. Chris said Nia. Yeah, I'm gonna probably be right back actually, real quick. We're gonna continue from here. I'm gonna go to the bathroom though, so it'll be a couple of minutes. But so far, I'm making pretty good progress. I think for an hour and a half, you know, we're chugging along a good bit. I mean, where are we right now? We're like, yeah, not bad to start, you know. And I plan to, you know, pick up the pace a little more going forward for the stream. So we'll see how things go, but. I'll be right back to go to the bathroom, and we're gonna continue as usual. I hope y'all have been enjoying the stream so far. I will say, these streams feel pretty much like second nature to me now that I've been doing so many of these. It's like, if anything, I have to get more used to doing, like, gaming streams and shit, like stuff where I'm just, like, playing a game, so... That's definitely gonna be something I want more experience in, but I've been really comfortable with these streams, like, you know, since starting them, so... Yeah. I hope y'all are enjoying it so far, and I'll be right back real quick. I won't be too long, just a couple minutes, so... Yay! I am now back. Still have plenty of water, so I'm doing pretty good there. Alright. Hi! I will say, Onyx, I do agree. I feel like the fact that chat isn't like super like big to the point where it's like there's like a billion people like just like chatting at once and I can't read anything. I do really like how, you know, it's just slow enough to where people can like discuss stuff and actually like have like stuff going on in the chat, and it's not just like a complete hive mind. I do really like that about it so far. I mean, I imagine as the community gets bigger and there's more people in the chat, if I do more streams where it's like, you know, the chat is going to be like a little quicker in general, but I've been pretty okay with like keeping up with it, honestly, I feel. I think the fact that I'm doing these streams now is like it's good practice for later on when the chat does eventually speed up. If I ever like say like if somehow I hit like I don't know like 6-7 digits in following, and like the chat is like insanely fast, right? I think it's good practice for that if it ever gets to that point where it's like, you know, I can eventually like, you know, respond to people more quickly and everything. A big viewership means you need to give your fans a name. I was thinking just calling y'all stars, or just you guys or something. Only 7? If I ever get, I mean 7 is like millions. If I ever get more than that, what the fuck do I even do then? I feel like even getting 1 million is like you're set at that point. 7 digits, the reactor is like saying. Like, because I mentioned, like, you know, the digits in terms of following, like 7 digits is like, you know, 1 million, 6 digits is like in the 100,000s. If I get more than 7 digits, that's insane. What do I even do then? Like, God. Like, I can't even fathom that right now. Genuinely, like, even 10,000 is just like, I can't fathom that. That is just like, man. That is full pipe dream right there. 1 million subs, you're set for life. Molly will pass Mr. Beast before year's end. Oh man. That would be like, if I ever get to that point where it's like I'm like pretty much known by like anyone who uses the internet, I don't even know what I would do is the thing. I'm at this nice point where it's like, you know, people know of me, but it's not to the point where it's like I'm really easy to like just come across, you know? It's like you have to be in a kind of niche, I feel, to kind of like really know of me, I guess. And it's just kind of like, if I ever get to the point where it's like you just know who I am, period, it's just kind of like man. That's the kind of fandom I'm not. I don't know how to even fathom that. You are famous in Discord servers. Yeah, that's where I am. It's like I'm famous in Discord. I got a message request from someone on Discord, speaking of. Okay, anyone who sends me messages on Discord, I'll get to your message after the stream. So what? I've just Moist sent me a couple DMs too. That's fucking. I already played the This Is Giant video in the last comment response stream, but Moist also sent me an image that's Twitter trends, and it's Pomni and Jaden trending on Twitter right next to each other. And just a bunch of like scared emojis. Thanks, Moist. I feel like if you were going to post long videos about other things like that or really currently relevant games, you may get bigger. Yeah, I do think if I am to kind of like stay more on that wave, I could probably like gain even more of a following. Although the thing is, I do want to make sure that what I'm covering is stuff that I'm genuinely interested in and not just like the big thing that's cool that would be fun to cover for my viewership. Yeah, Deltarune is a bit of a smaller niche still. It's like I think when the game's like complete, it might be bigger potentially. Though it's like, you know, it's definitely more like specific because it's like it's a subsect of a much bigger fandom, which in some ways is already also a subsect of like a different one in a way, or it's like connected to another one. It's weird. It's you know, there's like a bit of digging to do. What are you interested in? A lot of things. I mean, like right now, I'll put on the Vtuber and everything back real quick, just right. I mean, right now I'm interested in a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, Deltarune obviously. Backrooms web series stuff, obviously. I've been having severe Petscop brain rot again because Nexpo uploaded his newest video on it, and oh my god, Petscop might be the best fucking web series ever. Genuinely, I genuinely might have that opinion. I've never seen I've never seen a story told in the way that Petscop has been told, and the thing with Petscop to me is I love it. I could go on about it for hours, right? I could do a video on it, but the thing is, if I mean this out of complete respect, and just like genuine out of pure happiness. I could never do a better one. I can never do a better analysis than Nexpos. It's that good. It's just like I've never seen such a thorough analysis of this series, and it's a thorough analysis that's like been well deserved for a while. I've seen so many other people try to cover it, and it's like, they make pretty decent progress with it, but they're ultimately like, I don't know what some of this means. I've seen people say, man, I don't like this series because they're never clear about anything. They don't give you information much. When the whole point of the series is that you're not meant to get all the information about it. There's people who just don't like how cryptic it is, and then there's people who they can only really get the general vibe that it's meant to be about Paul rather than Petscop. But it's I think Nexpos is the first real big deep dive into it. It's just, as a longtime fan of the series, it's just so fucking cathartic. It's so good. If I were to make a video on it, it would just be kind of reiterating what Nexpos said about it. In my opinion, I might have different interpretations of some bits, but I don't really know what I could even add at that point. It's that good. It's just that good. I'm utterly impressed by the series every time I think about it. Paul Leskowitz translin. True. Make an unscripted video of going insane about it for 2 hours. Yeah. Have you watched The Oldest View? I have. It's really good. I really like it so far. I'm curious to see where that series goes. Although I know Kane's probably busy with the Backrooms movie apparently. Now that the writer's strike's done. Epic rap battles of history, Paul versus Wyatt. I mean, I know there was the question of whether Paul or Wyatt would win in a fight. I think Paul would win easily. But if we're talking a rap battle, I don't know. I think who would have the best bars? No, I think Paul would win. Even the rap battle. Did you see the FNAF movie? I have not. I've heard that if you are a fan of FNAF, that it's pretty good though. It's a fun movie if you're watching it with people. All right. Paul just says the most insane shit ever filled with non sequiturs. My favorite part was when Paul said, "I think that was based." Genuine quote from Paul Petscop. Paul Petscop versus Wyatt Oldest View. I'm never gonna get over Mr. The Oldest View. That is a name that is stuck in my head ever since the Wendigoon video that I watched about it. Mr. The Oldest Hugs. Mr. The Oldest View in Iceberg Boy. It's so fucking. I love it. That video had me taken out. Anyway, comments. Yeah, we're getting back to them real quick. Again, these are very low pressure streams. I'm not rushing through these, and we're making pretty good progress anyway. So